Hey everyone, time for Geocache Talk. Whether you're at work, in the car, wherever you are, we hope you enjoy the show. Please go to like and subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Overcast, Radio Public, and Spotify. You can get all the weekly Geocache Talk goodness. Big thanks to Trail Bugs for the music, all our patrons, including Demon Hunter 2, Electric Water Boy, Aggie Jedi Master, Antaeus, Joshua the Geocaching Vlogger, and our new patrons, Emily Renee, Scout Mom 5, and Anspire Crew. If you'd like to become a patron, head over to patreon.com/geocache talk for more details. Patrons get the new blackout coin. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, the blackout coin. I love showing
awesome.
The blackout coin.
Awesome coin.
And other geocaching items during the year, as well as bonus content. We've done that a few times recently, so that's always fun. And invites to special events only for patrons. Support levels start at as little as $3 a month. Let me start by welcoming my co-host, Jesse.
Good evening.
You had a looked like a good night last night. I liked you and your wife's costumes.
Yeah, never miss a chance to dress up in a Halloween costume, right?
Yeah, y'all went all out.
It's great. So yeah, that was pretty fun. It was a local fundraiser. That was pretty fun.
Awesome. Night. Y'all did great. I love those outfits. Y'all did great. So let's jump right into show 121 for October 21. I like how that worked out. As we welcome to the show Neil Moore. Welcome to Geocache Talk.
Everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Neil, so glad to have you on, buddy.
Thank you. It's good to be on. Finally.
Yeah, we talked about this a couple times and just didn't really work out. So now it worked out. All right, let's get some news. So Neil, definitely jump in with us as we talk some news. We released clues 1-3 and 2-3. And for everyone who has no idea what we're talking about, let me at least do a short reset. There are 6 they figured it out. The fans figured it out. There are 6 geostashes in the world. Well, not in the world, in the lower 48 states. Mm-hmm. One day in the world. We're going to do it again someday. Right. We'll do the world. They kind of have an idea of where the 6 are. And so we've been doing clues. And we're starting to ramp it up. So now we're doing 2 clues a week. And so we had to label them 1 through 6, not only for our sanity, but I think for the sanity of those.
It was fair to do that.
It was.
It would have gotten quite confusing if we didn't.
Right. So this week we released the 3rd clue for Stash 1 and Stash 2, and they're much harder this time. And I don't know how they're doing, but there is a group. And if you're interested in being in the Facebook group, email us at geocachetalk@gmail.com, and I'll get you in touch with the admin of that group in case you want to get involved in the discussion. Neil said that he got thoroughly confused. So
yeah, like after the first week, I was out. Clue 1, whatever. I'm clueless.
Oh, you got plenty of clues, buddy. You just not sure what to do with them, right?
Yeah, exactly. Blue Rich, and
Solution Poor.
Yeah, there you go. Solution Poor. Yeah.
So, but we're getting toward the bitter end. We are going to
the admin of that group is in the chat room tonight. In fact.
Oh, great! Perfect. Jump in the chat room and we can talk to Heather and get that taken care of. And so we got some new loot I want to talk about.
That's sweeten the pot.
Sweeten the pot. So let's do that because it gets everybody all excited and it gets us excited too. Because
I kind of want all that stuff.
I know, don't you? So I got a new coin. This one's from IB Geocaching from Peter Young. He sent us one of these and it's kind of cool. See if I can show this well. So here's our normal logo on the coin, but on the back, look what he did on the back. I think it's cool. He's got the stash.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Isn't that cool?
Good job.
Yeah, got the geocache stash and it's trackable. That's why I'm hiding the trackable part. So, all right. So you get that. Plus, it's like every week I put more and more cool stuff in it. I got this in the mail this week from Mr. Cody, Sir Drum-A-Lot. So he sent us a stick. He does drum a lot, and so there's his thing and his button, and the back of it is also it's a trackable. Yeah, man. So that's cool. I only got part of it. I'm showing part of it. So
now people are gonna go guess the first ones.
Go guess the first part. If you have to go that far, then we've got problems. You got issues.
And it's maybe for another show, but you could really just put in any 6-digit code and it would be one, right? There's only so many.
You could do a random number generator and just go through the list real quick.
Well, if you did random number generator and did like 1,000 and plugged it in to log them all, I'm sure some of it would work, right?
Right. Gosh, that's just no.
I mean, that's cheating in a whole new level, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I did that with the Treasure movie. As I was watching the Treasure movie, I was finding the codes. Well, there was one that came up that looked like a code, so I put it in and it came up, but it wasn't. It had nothing to do with the movie or anything, and I don't even think. I think I just happened to spot 6 digits that happened to work.
Oh,
weird!
Wow, that is crazy. Yeah.
That was actually pretty fun hunting for those codes in the movie.
Oh yeah, they were. I'm so glad he put those in there.
I know, that made it a lot more fun.
Apparently there's one I've never found. I need to go back and watch the movie for the 50th time and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. I also want to make a quick note about the 3rd annual Podcast of Hope. Is December 2nd, and always a great night. We're going to try to raise more than 2,000 that we raised last time. Hopefully, maybe 3,000. Putting us out on a limb there, but it's for St. Jude's.
Every year.
Yeah, I know. For St. Jude's, which is an incredible cause that we need to all be involved with, I think. Even in a small amount, somewhere in. So we're gonna have a great night. We've got some giveaways planned. We've got some great guests already, sort of lined up. Joshua, the geocaching vlogger, will have again. He'll have his 2-hour vlogger roundtable. So we're looking forward to that with some new folks, and you'll see some new people and some old faces as well. But we're Jess and I are working on getting a good lineup for that night. It's 8-hour podcast from 4 p.m. to midnight.
That'll be a fun night.
Yeah, it always is. It's always great. We do 8 hours, but we kind of take a short break after each hour. So in case we need to run to the little boys' room, a little girls' room. So,
but you don't hold it for 8 hours?
No, don't.
Oh, well, you didn't tell me we could go to the bathroom in there.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you.
You were just hazing me last year, I guess.
Yeah.
No more catheter for Jesse.
That's right.
You don't have to sit there the whole time for that 5 minutes. You can go get something to drink or whatever. So, all right. Speaking of that, I'm sure people are waiting for us to say that it's for another show, but I'm not going to do that.
We already did.
Okay, we did. All right. All right, let's get into the show itself. So, Neil, we got to actually meet, which is cool. We'll talk about Woodstock here in a minute because we've talked a lot about Gigastock, but I kind of want to cover it from a little bit of a different angle with you tonight. But let's first kind of go back. Let's go back to the beginning for Neil Moore. When did you first hear about geocaching?
It was in August of 2010, and we had a departmental team building event at work, and we all went to a state park. Nobody else knows. I live like a half an hour from Lake Michigan, which are the best freshwater beaches in the world, I think. But Anyway, so we went to the state park. It was on the beach, and the lady in charge, she had put out envelopes, I think 6 different envelopes. They had puzzles in them, and she gave us coordinates. People were downloading GPS apps on their phones, and so we could go find this. And after the first one, I was like, man, that was fun. That was kind of cool to follow this arrow to this envelope in a tree, and so we got done.
What year was that, Neil, by the way?
2010.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
So the smartphone apps were just starting to come out as far as the GPS things. So we got back to work, and I asked her, I said, what is this? How did you find out about this? And she's like, oh, it's geocaching. You can go to geocaching.com and sign up, and you'll get a newsletter and stuff. So I immediately signed up on Groundspeak, signed up for their weekly newsletter, and promptly ignored it for the next year. It had come into my email, and I'm like, I don't have time for that right now. Delete.
You're not the first person to ever do that. Like Jesse, you found one and then you stopped, right? For a little while.
I stopped for 2 years. I didn't use a GPS or a phone to find my first one. I used like an address.
Right.
So, it didn't take it first.
Apparently not for Neil either. So
no. Yeah, it took the next year, a year and 2 months to be precise. I went down to the south end of the state to go hunting with a friend of mine, and we went out and hunted for the morning, came back, and he's like, hey, let's go find some geocaches. And I'm like, oh, you geocache? He's like, yeah. I said, how long have you been doing that? About a year and a half. I'm like, holy cow, I never even knew that. And so we went out and we found a couple more. I'm like, man, why haven't I been doing this for the past year? And that was it. That's from that point, which was like, I think if you look at my stats, it says your first find is October 11, 2011. From that point, my first 500 caches were within 3 months.
Wow.
So I went a little crazy.
You went.
Yeah, a lot crazy.
Full bore, buddy. That's good, though. That's good.
Yeah. I think I had 100 caches a month or more for the first 5 or 6 months. It was crazy.
Wow. Crazy.
That is a lot.
Now this is always an interesting question, I think, because it's different. People have had different experiences or even know about where their first cache is and where if it's even still active. I know I have completely different stories because mine actually, the first cache I ever found is still out there. Amazingly enough, back in 2006, it still survives to this day. As far as I know, it hasn't been archived because I
checked in on mine lately to see if it's
your first cache.
Yeah, the first cache I ever found.
See if it's still. But do you know, Neil, if yours is still out there, and was it at least something memorable, or was it like it wasn't even worth remembering?
Well, it depends on which way you want to go. If the ones that I found with my friend after hunting, we found like 5 of them that day. I never even logged them because I'm like, I haven't even been on my account or anything. So I don't even think I signed them. I just found them and that was it. So then I came home, and that following weekend, I told my wife, I said, you and I, this is something we're going to do together, which she doesn't really like geocaching, but so we went out there's a state game area a couple miles from home here. So we went out and we went up the road, and I'm looking at my GPS. I had it just a cheap E-Trex, the little yellow one, doesn't even have a joystick. So we're just watching the numbers, and I'm watching the last 3 numbers. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
So I'm watching the numbers, and we're like over in the corner of this neighborhood, and I'm like, this isn't right. And she's like, what about these other numbers? I'm like, oh yeah, we got about a mile to go. So
Oh yeah, north. Dang it.
Yeah,
Following west.
yeah. So
Good stuff.
we finally made it. In the first cache that I've actually logged is still active, and it's about 2 miles north of where I live on the same road. And I was actually going to take my grandson there a couple weeks ago, but we both had to use the restroom after being out all afternoon. So we thought I'll save that for another day. But yeah, it's just a regular size, like a metal tin out in an orchard. And that's nothing spectacular, but it's there and it's still active. The cache owner is not active and hasn't been for
a while,
6 or 7 years. Yeah. I don't even think he was I don't even think he's been active since I started, because the other part of that story is that same day I went to another cache that's about 3/4 from my house in a little league ballpark by the same CO.
Right.
And when I thought I found it, I pulled this wire out of this tube, and it was a 6-inch piece of galvanized pipe with metal galvanized caps on it with this wire sticking out. It was not marked at all. If anybody else would have pulled that out, and I called the sheriff because I didn't know, and yes, the bomb squad came out.
Nice.
Okay. So I took my grandson to that one, and we pulled it out. And it's still, and I remade it because I felt guilty that they came, the sheriff came and took it. So I made a new one out of PVC pipe, and I've got that sucker labeled. So that's still there too.
So you called the sheriff, they came and destroyed the geocache, and you decided to put one back in that spot. Now that's one way of claiming a location.
Well, no, I didn't put it under my name. It's still, I just replaced the container.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was kind of you.
That's a different perspective on the bomb squad story that we haven't had yet. We haven't had anybody that's said they called the police or the bomb squad on one yet.
No.
That's a first.
You're the first, and you're the first to ever replace the poor person's geocache because, all right, good stuff. Now this is always interesting too. I think a good question to ask is who you geocache with, because I think that really speaks a lot. I mean, I appreciate those that do it by themselves, and I understand why people go by themselves. I know some people that will never go by themselves. They always go with people, or a mix of the two. So for you, what is your normal geocaching posse, or is it just you?
A lot of times I go by myself just because I get time on a Saturday, and it's just kind of at the drop of a hat. Right. But that's hard for a guy like me because I'm 6'1", 280 pounds. And when I come crawling out of the brush on a bike trail, some old lady's having a heart attack.
Right.
So, yeah. And I have had the police called on me. But typically and I'll do my shout outs to Nate the Great, Cave Boy Ken, Laker 91, Spartan alum, Fanugler, Adham. We've got
great names.
A terrific community of geocachers in the Grand Rapids area.
Dino Eric, Lightning 08. I love some of the names that people call. That's a whole. That's for a whole show.
Did you say
those
Adham?
Are my two grandsons.
Is one of the guys you cache with?
Yep.
Is he the guy that does the really, really neat cache pages? Like all the, like goes into a lot of detail on his cache pages? Somebody with a similar name like that really gets into the HTML and stuff on his cache pages and sets up really good cache pages I've seen before.
Yeah, he does a lot of good stuff. He does a lot. He likes the Halloween time. So if you see his stuff that comes out around Halloween, that'll be evil looking. That's the kind of guy he is.
He likes doing those.
Very creative. He's very creative. Yeah. And he originally is from the Rock Island, Illinois, out on the border. So he did a lot of stuff out there first, and then he's moved to Grand Rapids with his wife. So you can see things from both areas from him. So
cool. You do a lot on yours, Jesse. I like you do a lot.
Well, if it's the guy I'm thinking of, I stole a lot of it from him.
Well, that's good.
He's got some good, well, there's, you don't want to reinvent the wheel every time, right? So you look at a lot of other cache where you get a lot of your ideas from is
absolutely
other people that have training in other backgrounds and areas and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, you're exactly right.
Jesse would love being in Michigan because we've got Wergos up the wazoo. There's
nice.
We've got probably 4 people in this area that love doing Wergos and have Wergos out. And
nice. I have not cached in Michigan yet, so it's on the list for sure.
Well, let me know when you get here.
Oh, I will.
I can hook you up with a Utah Uber driver.
That's perfect.
Oh yeah, I've Ubered to caches. That's happened.
Wow, that is cool.
So
go ahead.
One of the things we always like to ask too is, where has geocaching taken you?
Oh well, if my wallet would follow the geocaching,
well, ain't that true?
But for what I can afford, I've been to Geo Woodstock in North Carolina. Went down there for 15, which took me. Yeah. When I travel like that, I like to pick strategic spots. I went to the Natural Tunnel State Park in Virginia, and that did a couple earth caches there that were amazing. Saw the what do they call it? The flood wall in Ohio. Is it Portsmouth, Ohio? There's a flood wall there. It's like a mile long of murals of things that happened in that town.
That's cool. I missed that.
Yep. And then Geo Woodstock in Cincinnati, of course.
Yeah.
I wished I could have had more time to explore that area, but it is what it is. Been to Texas. My son-in-law was in the Army and stationed at Fort Hood for 6 years. So we were in Texas several times after I started geocaching, which was nice because I was able to add the state. There's a trail just south of Killeen that's dedicated to soldiers, and I only was able to get like 10 of them, but there's, I don't know, a couple hundred, I think, down there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. In a swamp in Louisiana, just picking up a random cache. Florida, we went on vacation in Clearwater Beach, so that was awesome to get caches down there where you're reaching in and not even thinking there could be an alligator or something in here.
Close by.
I'm just sticking my hands in because I'm from Michigan, where if you get bit, you might end up with rabies, but who knows? Nothing here really hurts you. And then I go to Texas and Florida, and I'm sticking my hands in. I'm wearing shorts and flip flops, and yeah.
Hey,
I did see a Roadrunner. Okay. That's right.
That's what we do for Smileys. It's worth it.
Yeah. But I've been to Canada. Did a couple power trails in Canada. I was there last year and was going to meet up with London Westy, but he decided to head out of town, I guess. So I don't know what that.
He heard you were coming. He bailed on you, huh?
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So when he came to Grand Rapids, I decided to bail on him. So
perfect.
Yeah. So,
power trail in Canada. Does a power trail in Canada look like a power trail in the U.S. or is it literally along a power line road kind of thing, or
there, because where we went was southern Ontario. It's a straight shot across for me from where I live over to London. It's pretty much a straight shot straight through. So it's like we did one power trail. It was just like a rectangle of some sort on the just a back road. We did another one where you're just on back roads and there might be like an old railroad bed that you follow. So yeah, they're getting to be more rail to trail out there. especially on
very cool.
They're just across from Detroit or Sarnia, so and they're loading up pretty good too. So you take your bike out and ride your bike and grab 100 caches.
That's very cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing. You know, anywhere from Canada to down to Florida to Texas, and the game is in all those places. So you never know where you're going to end up.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people say they don't like to go for the numbers. And I'm not really a numbers guy anymore. I'm more of, I'd rather have a good experience. But the power trails, when you go with your friends, that's a whole different story. You're getting numbers, but the experience and the stuff you do with your friends, that makes it fun right there.
Oh yeah, it's not something I'd want to do every single time if that was the only part of the game, but it's definitely a fun part of the game too, getting together with your friends and just going out and caching all day like that.
Yeah.
You know, some of those times are interesting because you can find a lot, or you can find, in Jesse's case, many times they find one. But then again, it's a very hard one to get to.
Oh yeah, have just as much fun on both ends of the spectrum too, right?
Yeah, it's neat to be able to go out, and this is something we always encourage people to do, is to go out with other people. Once, if you're not used to going out and caching with a lot of folk, or not even have to go a lot, but I mean with other people, we always encourage people that cache by themselves to try to, especially in events, that's probably a more opportune time, is to go out with even a small group, because it's a different experience. It's the camaraderie and the fellowship of the hunt is something that's really worth it. I do know that, like in your case, you probably want to do some caches by yourself because of vlogging, which we'll get into the vlogging here in a little bit. But then again, your vlog has a lot of times when you want to be with a person, because you do a lot of the little friend-alongs for your vlogs. So, but this is always an interesting question. I always love hearing people's reaction to this, and that is, what do you like most about geocaching, or why do you geocache?
You know, that I've asked myself that a lot since I started geocaching, just because I have no idea what the draw is that addicted me to this game. And I think part of it is that I find things that are hidden that people walk by every day. They might walk by it might almost hit them in the face, and they have no clue. And I can walk up there, find this little thing and sign it and put it away, and they're still clueless. And I guess that's part of it. But now that I've been doing it a while, it's more of, I really like finding those spots, those places around home that I never knew were there, or local history. You know, you guys have talked in previous shows, and this is probably something for a different show. There.
Nice.
Okay.
So,
more coffee.
But I would love it if they came out with history virtuals. That I love finding out local history, not just here, but anywhere. You know, the virtuals you go to that say, hey, this is what happened in this town or whatever. That I love that part of it. Or the amazing sites like going to Turkey Run State Park and doing the earth caches there, and you end up in this punch bowl, you know, over whatever you believe, thousands or millions of years, has created this big hole in there, or this big punch bowl in the earth. But you have to walk 3/4 of a mile through this, almost like this cold canyon or whatever. And it's just amazing that the stuff you see and learn geocaching, you'll never get that in a school book, you know, and I love that part.
Oh man, very true. Yeah. Jesse's favorite earth caches at no, I'm kidding.
Haha.
We always have fun with that. The earth caches at natural I love some of the names of these: Turkey Run State Park, Natural Tunnel State Park.
Yeah. And
Natural tunnel. I guess there's a natural tunnel there.
yeah, it's a river. It's in Virginia.
Right.
There's a river that I think it started out as a underground river, but it eroded away the rocks, and so there's this. I'm going to end up giving away one of the answers to the Earth Cache. It's a 400. It's a 400.
I love it. Yeah, it's just an Earth Cache. Who cares?
Yeah, go ahead. Up your numbers by 1. So, but this tunnel is like 300 foot high, and this river is just rushing through there. But there's also a railroad track that goes through there that they use to get coal out. I don't know where it goes on the other side, but the railroad tracks go through there, and a train runs through it a couple times a day. Getting coal out of there.
Active. Wow.
Yeah. So and I've got a video on that. So if you ever go to my Cache Tales page, you can find that video there. Yeah,
I love it.
So, and then recently in Tennessee, we're up there on Klingman's Dome, highest point in Tennessee, overlooking the mountains, the Smoky Mountains. And apparently on a very clear day, you can see Mount Mitchell, which is the highest point in North Carolina, and it's 73 miles away. So that was some exercise, uphill for a half a mile. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. The places like that, I mean, hopefully if you've geocached for any period of time, you kind of have that, those memories and those experiences of going to places that you probably never would have found, or you didn't really maybe have any interest in. And then you get there and you're like, oh my gosh, this place is awesome.
Yeah.
And places that, like even in Colorado, I mean, just in Colorado, obviously you go anywhere in Colorado. Well, not everywhere. You go to a lot of places in Colorado and you're like, this is incredible. I mean, because the views are incredible, but
there's no pretty places in Colorado.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody ever comes here to see the mountains or, anything like that.
Jesse's trying to keep people away from the state.
That's right. Yeah. We're full.
Don't come to Colorado. We're full. We're full up. Wait your turn. You get in line before you come to but there's probably places, even Jesse, you found that you're like, man, I had no idea this was here. Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, there's so many. We've talked about some of those before, but some places you just never realized you were going to come up. A cache is a cache, right? Until you find one that's just amazing, and then you're like, oh crap, that is why I do this, to discover new places and just all those adventures, and they just come out of nowhere sometimes too. And that's the kind of thing I think when we tell people, and I think we've all done this, is that people ask us, they're like, well, why are you doing this? What's the point? And usually it's two things. Either the container is pretty incredible or the location is pretty incredible. So we kind of have both things that we can kind of tell people about, because I think we've all hopefully found some cool containers. Not always, let me tell you, but a lot of times though, where they're located is the incredible part. So,
yeah, especially that lamppost in the Planet Fitness parking lot. That's the best.
Boy.
Oh, you've been to that one too?
Yeah. Which one are we talking about?
Now, which of the thousands of
the other one.
The other one.
Yeah. Not that one, the other one.
The Walmart one.
The one with the one with the pill bottle that's camouflaged that you don't need to camouflage because there's no reason to camouflage it.
It's the one by the wasp nest.
Right. Exactly.
How many times have you reached in as fast as you could so you don't get stung by a wasp?
Yes. Many
times.
Let
it slam and run away.
Right. Man, leave real quick. Oh gosh, yes. That's about every one of them in Texas. So we'll divert for a moment because it was on my list and you answered it, so I'm glad you did. My list of questions that I keep around for these great, because a lot of them are fascinating. This one's always fascinating to hear what people are doing when they're not geocaching. because
Nothing.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Nothing.
For some
We don't
of
do
us,
anything but geocaching, right?
for some of us, it is nothing, but not for you. So you've got a couple hobbies, or at least one hobby, and then you have another item that you're doing. So what is another hobby of yours?
Well, 7 years ago when I first found geocaching, everything went away. Obviously, with my numbers would show, but I'm a bow hunter. I've been a bow hunter since I was 14, 15 years old.
Your video went away too. That's okay. Like, we can hear you, we can't see you though.
Okay.
No problem.
I don't know why it went away. All right. So anyway,
finish this up, and then we may have you like log out and back in. But go ahead. Tell the story about your bow hunting, because I think this is interesting.
All right. So I do a little bow hunting, and when I found that first geocache, that kind of went away for 3 or 4 years, but I've gotten back into it. We've bought a house last winter, and we've moved back home almost literally. And now that I'm a 3-mile drive from my hunting spot, started picking that up again, and have really enjoyed this summer and fall, going out and shooting my bow in the yard, and then getting out in the woods. Had a spectacular morning yesterday. I didn't kill anything, but I had 5 different bucks underneath me at one point. Had a small buck not 10 feet from my tree.
Oh, wow.
So it was a great morning. And then the other thing is I bought a motorcycle after 33 years. Yeah. I had a motorcycle back in my younger days. Then I got married and had kids. And now that the kids are gone and we're in a house again, I got the okay from the finance department to buy a motorcycle.
You like the finance department, or
that's right?
Yeah.
Jesse calls Christy the CFO.
There you go. Yeah. So I bought a big boy's toy, and I have had some difficulties with it in the last couple months, but man, I've enjoyed that. We were down in Tennessee, and I had to rent a motorcycle so I could ride the Dragon down there.
Oh yeah. Did you do it?
That was it. Yeah, I did. Oh, that was incredible. There was an accident that was on our way up or way down. There was an accident, and then a different accident on our way back up. So people are crazy. Apparently somebody
people are crazy. They are crazy.
They slid off. They slid off the road, and the one guy, his bike went off the road, but he decided to ditch before it got off the road, so he was okay. No. But yeah, that's an incredible ride. It's a little scary, especially for a guy that's just started riding a big bike. When you're trying to maneuver 600 and some pounds around these hairpin turns, it gets a little hairy.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
wow.
I only crossed the yellow line once, and little bit of butt pucker there, but that's
a pretty area. I never got to do it when I had my motorcycle. I got to go and visit it, but I never got to visit it while I had my motorcycles. So
where's that, Jesse?
Yeah. It's out East Tennessee.
Okay.
I guess it's like Middle East, isn't it?
It's south of kind of southwest of Gatlinburg.
Yeah,
because that's where we were staying. And so it was like out there, you say it's 18 miles, but it's a 45-minute drive because the roads are so curvy.
Right.
So it's about an hour's drive from Gatlinburg.
Wow.
Which is about 3 hours from Nashville, I would say.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And while I was there, I was a little over an hour away from the going geocaching event, but we were there with friends, and my wife and our friends, they don't geocache, so I couldn't say, hey, let's go to Georgia.
Hey.
Yeah. I've got to take the dog out for a second.
Okay.
I mean that literally. The dog's like.
Yeah, no problem. Well, we'll see you here.
Right,
we'll see you in a minute. Jesse and I'll carry on. So, that's that area Jesse, always sounds to me like I need to make a trip that way anyway because I need
Oh,
to
it's
get
very pretty out that way.
because I need to grab like South Carolina, North Carolina. I've got like a little gap in my states. I need to get that gap kind of covered. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I got a few more, but mine are in the middle north of the country. So Michigan, and some of those areas. I got to go hit some of those. I've got that area you're talking about.
Well, I know. Yeah, we all have these little. I got a gap. I got these, and their problem is they're not in the same location, so they're going to take. They're going to have to take multiple trips. You know what I mean? Because I've got parts out west that I don't have, and I have parts in the north.
Mr. Neil, you in here?
Let's go.
There's my computer.
Oh,
there's my computer right there.
Oh, it's Bob.
Talk on already. I gotta get in here. What is this going on? Oh, hey everybody.
I think that's Bob Billy.
Oh, yeah. Here I'm in the live chat. What?
Bob Billy?
What's on?
Is that?
Hey, that's me. What's going on? Oh, hey, there's Mr. Gary right there.
Put the headset in, Bob, and we'll.
Hey, Mr. Gary, hi.
Hey.
Look, it's Mr. Jesse. I have never met Mr. Jesse. How you doing there, Mr. Jesse?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Wow. Hey, Bob Billy. It's good to see you, man.
Well, I haven't seen you since Cincinnati. It was a good time down there. It was.
It was. Yeah. It was fun eating some Cincinnati chili.
Yeah. Oh, that chili was the best chili I ever had. I know now, Mr. Scott, he didn't like the chili, but I thought the chili was awesome. And it was so good to meet so many vloggers down there. It was.
Yes.
It was. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was good.
It was incredible, and got to spend a little bit of time talking to you and everything. And I'm just wondering if is Neil, is he taking care of you okay, or are you doing okay, or do you need some help?
Well, he's a pretty good feller. He lets me clean the plates off after dinner, and I can have whatever's left over. So that's pretty good. And that their dog, she gets a little upset when I take food away from her, but that's okay. I got a warm place to sleep. The furnace is right there by my bed, and
that's good.
Yeah. It was. I got a nice old door that's on a couple crates. I can put my sleeping bag on. It's nice.
Perfect.
So, he gave me a nice pillow. I can put my head on in the pillow. And there's not too many drool stains or anything on that, so it's not too bad.
Nice. That's good. Now, I've noticed that you've been finding some geocaches lately. I like the one you found recently, where it was up on a pole, and you had to kind of figure out a way to get that thing down.
Yep. And notice that I had to use my Uber vehicle to get my tools out there. And I probably could have climbed that pole, but I had a wet burrito for lunch that day. So trying to climb that light pole was
probably not a good idea.
No, it wasn't. And there's a couple times I thought I might have slipped, but you know what I mean by slipped.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
Yeah.
Now, but you did a good job of like figuring out like how to put that PVC pipe and a little duct tape, and you were able to get that down. I was able to take a couple classes at the local community center. It was duct tape 101 and PVC finagling for the common Joe. So I was able to put my education to use there to get that geocache down. So it was good. That's good. I really also liked your video. It's been a while back, but when you made the because buying an ammo can, those are expensive, but you just kind of made an ammo can. I thought that was cool.
Oh yeah, the ammo can, it's not hard to do. Again, I learned that in the community ed class. And get me.
Oh sure, yeah. Are you drinking Neil's? Okay.
Yeah, well, he don't mind. It's
Oh,
I think
okay.
I think it's leftovers.
Oh, okay. All right.
But yeah, I learned a lot in my community ed classes, and that ammo can, if you buy the right spray paint, man, it's like steel, and you really got to douse it on there good.
Yeah.
And if you got to use the right duct tape and the right spray paint.
Oh, okay, great. Well, is Neil around there at all, Bob Billy? I mean, I don't know if he's. I know he put the dog out, but is he? He I don't know if he
Yeah,
wants you to be. I think he talked to you about not being on.
yeah, he told me I should watch what I say. I should
Watch
think
what
a
you
little bit
say,
before I
'cause-
talk here.
yeah.
But really, the dog didn't need to go out. I just was like yelling at the dog like it was gonna go potty, and he come down, and I gotta admit, I kind of just snuck in here because I wanted to see you guys and meet Mr. Jesse. So, but
Good to meet you.
I'm sure. I better get scooting out of here before he gets back.
Don't get yourself
Yeah.
in trouble.
Yeah.
I see y'all. Thanks.
All right. Bye, Bob Billy. Bob Billy, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, he had to talk to him about being on and everything, but I'm kind of worried about Bob Billy. I don't know if he's living down in the basement like that. I don't know if that's.
He seems tough.
Yeah,
He'll
I think
probably
he'll be. I think he'll be okay. Just I don't want him to be too bit of a burden on Neil because of course now Neil he's got his he's like he said his kids are kind of grown now, so he's kind of at a point where it's probably okay to have somebody living down there. Probably he can kind of keep track of the basement a little bit as well, make sure nothing goes on.
Everybody
down
needs a
there.
pet.
Everybody needs a pet or a live in.
Yeah, I mean,
So there's Neil. Neil, we're glad you're back. Bob Billy.
I'm sorry about that.
Bob
Was
Billy
he in
jumped
here?
in. Yeah, he
Oh,
jumped
my
in for a
goodness.
few minutes and he told us
and I
some
see he's
story
been
about
drinking.
Yeah, he's drinking your coffee or whatever he's drinking and told us some crazy story about a burrito that I don't know if we really should be talking about online.
Yeah, you don't want to be around him when he's been eating burritos. Oh my goodness.
It's so bad.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay. So before we go on to the next part of it, I do have to ask you now that we've done that. So what got into you to come up with the character Bob Billy? Because it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine and I, when we get together, we kind of get off on this little redneck kick, and he talks about the little lady and all this stuff, and, so we kind of and our wives just look at each other and roll their eyes.
Oh my, yeah, right.
Yeah, and we've been doing that for years. Well, then Hailmeister came came over to Michigan, and his wife had bought him tickets to a hockey game, which was happening in Grand Rapids. So he's like, "Hey, I'm coming for a hockey game. Maybe we can get together and do some geocaching." I'm like, "That would be awesome." So I thought, I want to do a video on this, and I mean, let's do a redneck thing or something. And so I just kind of made it up, and this was I think it was the end of January or something like that. And I just kind of went off the cuff and Hailmeister showed up. I mean, I told him where we were going to meet. Right. And when he showed up, I was recording, I was doing my thing. And this was the first time he had ever met me. And I don't know how he would explain it, but when he got out of the car, it looked like he was ready to get back in the car and leave.
That's awesome.
But it was fun, and it ended up being a great video. And from then on, it's just kind of snowballed from there. And the whole Skyline Chili thing, that was, I think I embarrassed Joshua even. I don't know. West Virginia, Tim loved it. He's like, "You're my man." He says, "I love the way you talk." So,
That's
But
pretty funny.
that was a good time, and I think that even now, I think locally here, when I go to an event, they're almost looking for Bob Billy to show up.
They want Bob Billy, huh?
Yeah, it's like,
Neil.
hey, Neil's here. Where's Bob Billy?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
it's a cool character, and I think you've done a good job with it. My wife was asking me earlier about, is this? I said, no, you'll love it. And she's like, well, am I gonna love it? And I go, no, he does a good job, because you really do. It's not so over the top that people are like, okay, I've had enough. It really is. You play it well. You play it very well. It's very subtle. So,
well, I think sometimes people expect me to take it too far, and I've had some people comment that, you're not really a redneck, or it's like, I don't care what you think. It's
right.
it's just having fun. It's not.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be Jeff Foxworthy. I'm not trying to be Larry the Cable Guy. It's just something stupid fun. So
yeah, exactly.
That's all it is.
Exactly. Well, I want to get into the vlogging at the end here. I do have a question for you though. The Vlogger Summit, which we did last in the spring at Gigastock, and we've kind of covered it, but I think what people don't realize is that you were kind of asked by Joshua to sort of head that up, and hats off to you, man. That really, I think, went well, because corralling. How many vloggers did we have, Neil?
I think we ended up with 21.
Okay.
I mean, there was
plus family and all that.
22. Yeah. Probably with everybody that was there was probably 30 or 35 people. So
yeah, because we had W. Tim, we had Chris Williamson, the director of Treasure, and anyway, but it was like herding cats. I mean, you get this amount of people that are crazy in many ways. You've got the French there, and you've got Dan, Adventures with Dan. You've got, all these, you've got like I said, you got the Hailmeister. You've got all these, then you got, oh my gosh, you got Stardust, ZZZ. I could go on and on, but you somehow coalesced that group and got them to actually do, because you had everybody tell everybody real quick. The point of the summit, I guess, was to split everybody up into to talk about things.
We it's probably 6 months before Geo Woodstock, I had put out there that I was thinking of trying to have an event, an unofficial event, to get everybody together, because the year previous, Joshua had a U.S. Geocaching Hour gathering, and there was 2 or 3 of us there for that. And I thought it would be nice to have just some place where all of the vloggers could get together and actually meet, say hello, and talk about what we do, and maybe do some things for each other. And then Joshua had said something, and Sim Rebel had mentioned to him that, hey, Neil said something. And so then Josh and I kind of got together offline, and he's like, hey, I'd love to do this, for the Geocaching Network. And so if you're willing to head that up, he's like, that would be a great thing. I mean, he's busy with his work travel, and then, his videos and stuff too. And so I kind of took that on, and I'd come up with something and I'd run it by him, and he'd say, yeah, that sounds fine. Or, let's tweak this or tweak that. And I think the reason that the summit went so well was we were organized right up front, and we had a schedule, and I tried to stick to it, and we did pretty good. And I think everybody was excited to be there, and they wanted to make sure things went well, and were were gracious and kind enough to follow my little itinerary of things to do. And because I think if we would have all just went in with our own ideas and tried to do our own thing, it would have failed miserably, because one person would have wanted to go geocaching with Joshua. Somebody would have wanted to do some stuff with Katie, and, you know, but this way, when we're organized and we split into organized groups, everybody was like, okay, I'm fine with this. When we're done with that, then we're going to do it again, only with different people. So I think it went very well because we set a plan and decided to stick to it. So,
yeah, you know, the thing that I think was cool, because I got to walk, not being a vlogger, I got to kind of hang. I kind of walked around. I was with one group, and then I got off the beaten path a little bit. I went and listened to other groups a little bit and got to hear them do intros for each other and to talk about, you know, what camera do you use or how do you do certain things. And I think that because you had a wide range, man, you had some people like you had from Joshua, you know, and you have a lot of experience all the way down to people who had just started to vlog. And so I'm sure they experienced something completely different. And it's like, I have no idea what I'm really doing. And I'm glad you guys are here to kind of help me, because it seemed like there was a lot of questions that people were able to answer for the newer blog group.
Yeah. And even now we're still seeing things coming out of that summer from our little breakaways where we did the little intros and outros for each other. We're still seeing new ones coming out from that. And I've noticed, as we talked about, like Chris Williamson talked, and Joshua and we all kind of shared some things about the videos, and I've seen improvements in some of the newer vloggers that are out there that are coming in. I've seen their videos get more concise, easier to watch, more pleasant to watch, not so cumbersome and heavy. So I think there's some good things that have come out of that.
It's a tough, how to put this? It's easy to make one. It's hard to make a good one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense.
There's a lot of them out there that aren't part of the geocaching network that we had, that you got going, and there's some out there that hopefully they'll join in and be part of our little group. It's actually growing quite a bit, but you've only got a little bit of time. You know, it's different than a podcast. I mean, for a vlog, it's got to catch your attention. I mean, otherwise people will click off and they're moving on to some other video, you know?
Right. Well, and you look at Joshua, who's been doing it for 7 years now, 7 or 8 years. I'm coming up on 5 years. I don't have the following. Nobody's got the following like Joshua does, but to look at those that may be doing the better videos, and I'm not even saying I'm one of the better ones, but when you look at the quality or what draws you to those videos, like with Joshua, there's quality in the video and there's energy and excitement. You look at videos from Jamie or from Katie. I mean, Katie's gone to school for this, you know, and she's the vlogger that I hate to love, because I wish my videos were that quality. But like with Jamie and even in Moto Joe, you know, they've got the drones and they use them well. So video quality is very important, but also content. Some of the newer vloggers, they're like, why aren't my videos getting the views, or why aren't my subscribers going up? And, you know, it's like those analytics you get from YouTube are very helpful. Find the creators videos, the creators helping creators videos. It's very important to listen to what they have to say. You know, nobody wants to watch a video where the scene is constantly moving back and forth through the woods. I get sick. I almost literally get dizzy and I can't watch it because it's giving me a headache. It's like, maybe you need to slow down, let your camera stop for a minute. Let's take a look at the scene. Or, if you're constantly moving, or if the only thing I see through your whole video is your face up close,
Right.
You really need to think about your content and what is it that you love about Joshua's videos, or what is it you love about Katie's videos, or Jamie's videos, or Dan's videos. Whatever it is that you love about those videos, put them into your videos.
Right.
You need to be a copycat of some sort to get the videos. I mean, when people do a new movie, do they copy Spielberg or do they copy John Huston? Depending on what kind of movie they want to do, they're gonna. Even musicians, they're influenced by earlier musicians. So, doing your videos, find the ones that you enjoy, and let those influence your content and your videography, I guess. So,
it's funny. The other day I watched Katie's most recent video, and if you were to tell people, "Oh, Katie did a video about geocaching and she didn't find anything," and you're like, "Okay,
why'd you watch it?
Why am I watching this?" And then she didn't. She just the one where she starts to go into the tunnel, and I think there's a bat in the tunnel, and she's like, "I'm not going in there." But if you watch the video, it's something you want to watch. And again, part of it may be you get people that you like to watch, and you learn you learn who they are, and but she has a way about it that I think people need to learn, and that is she's telling a story. And her story, she calls her mom, and yes, of course she's one of the better ones as far as getting the video part of it correct. And she's, like you said, she's gone to school for getting the video portion done, but she tells a story, and her story about not wanting to go in there, or which of these tunnels do I walk down to get to the geocache, and like I said, calling her mom, and her mom's like, "I don't know if you should be doing that. It doesn't really seem like it's a story you want to watch." And so
Right.
What's unfortunate, I think, or not, well, unfortunate, how to put this, I think that more vloggers need to think about, is there a story that you're telling, or am I just watching a vlog because it's your, oh my gosh, it's a week has passed and I've got to put a video out. I mean, I don't know if that's
guilty.
Really the way to do it.
I've done that a couple of times. It's like, I just need to get a video out. But even though I'm pulling, like, I've got a backlog of videos that probably will never be seen because, like you say, there's no story there. But there's been times like, okay, I just need to get something out so that I'm still in front of the people.
That's true.
And
I understand
it's not, I don't want to say this. I don't have the need to be famous like Joshua. I do this because I enjoy doing it and I want to be some entertainment. But for people to watch it, I need to be out there in front of them. But there are times when I take a few videos that may not, and I try to find that common link so that when they're watching it, they say, oh, like my last one was with my grandson. It's Sundays with Dino Eric. Okay. This is more about Dino Eric rather than the caches, how he reacts to the fake ant and how he reacts to the swag that's inside the container, and how he reacts to cache ants in your pants game. That's what it's about, more than a location or a container. Well, the ant was a container, but so sometimes you have to find that common thing in those videos. Sometimes it's a story, sometimes it's a person, sometimes it's containers, sometimes it's the location. So you really need to think before you just throw a video together and put it out there. If you want subscribers, you got to give them what they're looking for. You might not give them what they think they're looking for, but like with Katie, she gives us entertainment. You know, it's not, I mean, some of the containers, yeah, she finds ammo cans a lot.
Right.
But with her, she's telling a story, and she gives us a location like Stone Mountain or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean,
yeah.
even Jesse puts out some videos that I think are underrated because
No, they're terrible. They're totally
No,
off the cuff.
they're not.
We're just doing it because we're playing. We never come up with a story. Ours are never the quality of like these or Josh and all. You know, all the
not,
people,
but
Katie, that they're putting together a story. We're just playing. That's not even
Yeah.
the same level as like what Neil's doing and all these other things. I don't mind
they're still
admitting that.
fun. They're still fun to watch because you do have. There's an element there that I think you have found. If you really wanted to do it full time, like that kind of thing, I think you could, but because I think there's something there that you, like you said, there has to be a spark that you're, and I think that more vloggers need to stop and go, do I want to watch? You know, is this something that people want to watch?
Yeah, it takes a real talent to put out consistent good videos like you're doing, and like Katie and Joshua and like a lot of you guys are doing. It takes staying power and keeping engaged, and because people don't want to see 3 videos and then you never put out another one again. They get used to you. Just when you start getting used to you, they want to be able to see more and more videos from you. So
yeah, and I think that's part of it is staying, like you said, the staying power or the commitment to doing video. You don't have to do one every week. If you do one every other week or once a month, as long as we know that we can count on you putting a video out, even if it's once a month. I know that on the first Sunday of the month, I'm getting a video from this person.
Right.
And, and like Jesse said, he thinks his aren't that great, but if he really wanted to, he could do and now we've got a newer cacher doing vlogs, the geocaching Jeeper or something like that. So sorry, Jesse, you can't do that now.
That's okay. That's more for me to watch. This I'll stick with Geocache Talk.
That's right.
But
he's a podcaster. I don't want to be on a vlogger.
That's right.
Yeah. But if you're gonna do a vlog now, or if anybody's thinking of doing a vlog, you almost need to find that niche, whether it's geocaching in a Jeep, or if you're using a drone, or if you're being a redneck, or like Moto Joe's got his ATV and his drone, and he does stuff, or I don't know, it's in like Geo Paul and Dan Close. I love watching their videos because they're always in England. We see stuff from them. We see stuff from them, maybe too much of Dan, but we see stuff from them that we don't get to see here, and of course the English accent is always fun. And
well, it's like Cache Canada's in Canada, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
it gives us an insight, gives us a little window into, what the heck are they doing in Canada?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. What do you do besides watch hockey and drink beer?
What is Dave and Karen doing up there? But
Tim Hortons.
Yeah, they're going for Timbits. We don't understand that, but
No, that's Brent. Brent always does the Tim Hortons.
Yeah, Brent, Sim Rebel. All right, well, good deal. So let's go around the room and kind of wrap up for tonight. I don't know who wants to go first. I guess maybe I'll go first, and then I'll wrap up with upcoming shows, and then I'll go over. One of you guys jump in after me, but that'll work. So without rambling on about the exact same thing I just said, I really want to encourage those out there that listen to a podcast who also are either interested or wanting to vlog, or are vlogging, and like you said before, Neil, are maybe struggling a bit. So if you're about to get into it, watch the ones we have mentioned because they really are some of the best out there, and you can tell because they've got a big following, and so it's one of the reasons why they've got interest from people because I think they do a great job. But get out there and do it. We love geocaching vloggers to experiment and to get in and start doing that. But if you haven't vlogged in a while, we really do encourage you to really get back into doing a video, even if it maybe not the greatest, but get back on the wagon, as it were, and do some vlogs because it means a lot to the community, in my opinion, to put them out. And if you need ideas, watch some more and ask around people. Maybe even people that don't vlog might be able to give you some good ideas. So,
Yeah.
All right. That's my 2 cents.
I'll just say real quick, yeah, kind of going off what you said, Gary. It's interesting to do if you're interested in vlogging. Get out there and do it. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be having 10,000 subscribers like Joshua. All those crazy numbers and stuff like that. You don't have to be doing it for the rest of your life. But people are interested in hearing other people's stories. People like to hear those, and it's neat to share those. And it's not all about, this is a new thing that you're going to do all the time, but sometimes you just come up on that cool thing and you want to share that video. And, if you're going to take it more seriously and do more, reach out to some of these other guys that do it regularly. They're all nice. Nobody's making their living doing this. So it's all for fun. And people will absolutely help you with tips and tricks and all kinds of stuff. So feel free to reach out to the guys. It's easy to get a hold of everybody because that's their point, is being out there. People can get a hold of them. So.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Neil?
Yeah. I guess if there's first of all, let me say, Johnny Cash, we miss our lunchtime, our cash for lunch. So please come back.
Come back, Johnny.
Yeah. The other thing is, for those that are thinking of vlogging, or you might even want to just step into the world of Periscope or Facebook Live, just to test the waters. YouTube might seem big and scary. It's not. It's very easy. And like Gary and Jesse, you both said that, we're out there. You can get a hold of us if you leave a comment on a video. I'm horrible at responding, but if somebody would leave a message that said, "Great video. I'm thinking of getting into vlogging myself. Could you contact me and let me know," or whatever. Probably all of us would contact somebody, and we all have. And you can always go to Facebook. We've got the Geocaching videos, Geocaching Network Facebook page. If you go there, you can join that page or like it or whatever they do, and ask questions there. You ask a question on that page, you're going to get some answers. Man, we've answered the "what equipment do you use" question 100 times. Everybody, hey, what do you use? What software do you use to edit? And every time we all give our answers. And so there's plenty of places where you can find us, ask questions, or do whatever. So, yeah. And if you want honest opinions and critiques, we'll give you that too, if you're willing to hear it and make changes. So, but I love doing what I do, and I don't know if I'd ever want to get paid to do it, because then it becomes a job and then it becomes monotonous and boring. I'd rather do it for the fun of it. That's why I've not started a Patreon or anything like that. It's I don't want to feel like I'm obligated to do it. So,
right.
But I want to thank everybody that has subscribed and watched my videos, and just keep watching and liking and subscribing. I appreciate that very much.
Well, you're doing a great job, and we're looking forward to next year having you down for Geo Woodstock, and hopefully do some planning. I think we are planning to do some stuff with vloggers, and so looking forward to that and get maybe spend a little time together. Neil, I really appreciate you being on and giving us your insights. That was really good. So upcoming shows next week. Speaking of that very topic, we're going to have on the planners for Geo Woodstock 2019. They've got some cool things they want to update us on about Geo Woodstock. They're also going to announce some things. They wanted to take the opportunity on our show to announce some things about Geo Woodstock, and I really appreciate that they're wanting to do that. So you definitely want to tune in next week to the show because there are going to be announcements that will have not been made yet about Geo Woodstock until our show, and then of course everybody else will hear about it. But if you want to hear about it first, you want to be on our show to hear it. So that's next week. In 2 weeks, Daniel Flieger is going to be on. You probably heard of Daniel through watching a lot of Joshua, the geocaching vloggers, vlogs. He did a ton of Hanover geocaching videos, which were incredible. Talk about how incredible it is to geocache in Hanover, Germany. But Daniel's going to be on, the man himself. He's going to tell us about what it's like to geocache in Hanover and to be full-time like Daniel is with staff creating geocaches. Wouldn't it be great that Jesse awesome. Jesse always joke about, wouldn't it be great to just geocaches for a living? That's what Daniel does.
Would be one of those things that it actually would be, like a lot of times you don't want to get paid to do your hobby. I do want to get paid to do geocaching. That's different.
That's that kind of hobby that it's so great that he gets paid for. So yeah, Daniel in 2 weeks, it's gonna be incredible to hear about that whole and his tours that he does. It's just gonna be incredible. So, and then in 3 weeks, we got another special treat. We're gonna have on Alexander Boylan and John Katie Graham is gonna be on, and they're gonna talk about the movie At Your Own Risk, and hopefully you've seen it. It's going to come out on Amazon in 2 days. So on October 23rd, it'll be on Amazon. So you can buy it there. You could buy it on Vimeo right now if you wish. They've got a package put together on Vimeo for $19.99. I'm assuming it's going to have the same thing on Amazon. But I've watched it. I really enjoyed it, not because of the geocaching that's in the movie, but it's a very fun, very interesting movie because without giving away the finale of the movie, it's pretty incredible ending. So there's a whole twist and turn. There's a lot of twists and turns in the movie, but you definitely want to see the movie, and the ending wasn't what I expected. Maybe somebody else will go, oh yeah, I saw that coming. I didn't see that coming. So anyway, they'll be on in 3 weeks. And then I wanted to mention, normally I don't mention the 4th week, but I do want to mention that in 4 weeks on November 18th, show 125, we're doing the big reveal wrap-up show, because I think people need to know that, because I've had people ask, well, you're going to reveal Geostash Clue 1-4 before you so that's not really fair, because that one's in Arkansas and the people in California are not going to be able to, they're going to be they're going to be out of luck. And we decided, nope, we're not doing that. We're going to reveal all of Clue number 4 at the same time in one show, all the rest of the clues in one big wrap-up show. So that'll be a fun night, 11/18. Right, Jesse?
Yep, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So just we just wanted to do it that way. It would just make it easier for everybody. So, all right, well, folks, we hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Email us your comments at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at geocachetalk or at Gary Slinkard, one word. Of course, on Instagram. Very important that you're on Instagram this week. It's very important. Okay. Geocache Talk, one word, and Memphis Mafia Also, a very important week to be. Oh, okay, enough of that. So, but it's always fun. I always love checking out Memphis Mafia Instagram. You've got to subscribe. He's got some good stuff he does every week, every day on that. Sometimes it's good stuff. Facebook is our facebook.com/geocache talk. We have a page and a group. I always forget to mention that. So you can like the page anytime you want. If you want to join the group, just send us a note. And if you have any kind of geocaching or any kind of outdoor related interests at all, we're going to put you in there. I've had a couple people try to join the group, and I'm like, you don't look like you have any interest in anything remotely related to geocaching.
They're wanting to sell shoes or something.
Yeah, they are not. Show me that you even go outside at some point. Maybe we don't ask for a lot, but you've got to have some kind of interest. Otherwise, I think you're just. If you've joined 500 groups, I'm going to be wondering why are you joining the 501st.
Right.
Anyway, show can be found iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Spotify. If you have one that you prefer, let us know, and we'll get our RSS feed onto that one as well. And of course, you can always go to the Geocache Talk website, geocachetalk.com. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Right, Neil? You got to hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, likes and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. That's what you got to do for vlogging too, man. You got to get that like and subscribe button. And of course, if you do that, you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. You get reminded the show is on. And of course, we ask you to please tell your friends about the show. You may be surprised. Some people may have not know about it. And we would appreciate you spreading the word about our podcast. And it's really appreciate the people that do that. And we're always getting new people. And we appreciate you. If this is your first time listening, go check out some of our previous shows and check out our future shows as well. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching. Go watch Cache Tales.
Yay!
And then go geocaching. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.